Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin. I'm back for another Eurovision analysis video. Today I'm going to be giving you my predictions for who I think is going to qualify from semi-final number 2 of Eurovision 2023. And I'm also going to show the results of the community poll on who you think is going to qualify. So let's kiki. Timestamps are in the progress bar. I'm going to do the timestamps by the name of the country if you want to skip and see how a particular country does. So as I said in my semi-final 1 video, please give this video a thumbs up because these videos tend to get thumbed down more because I'm going to be guessing on who qualifies and who doesn't, and that pisses people off and they thumb down my video and we need to counter that. So particularly with this video, I think some of the predictions I have are going to be quite unpopular, so definitely give a thumbs up now before you hate me later on. So semi-final number 2 has 16 songs. That's 1 song more than semi-final number 1. We're going to have 10 qualifiers. All 16 countries in it will vote. We have 3 automatic qualifiers also voting in the semi-final. That's Spain, Ukraine and the UK. Generally, I find this semi-final much harder to predict than the first one. The first semi-final was more difficult for the last like 2-3 places. For this semi-final, I did like 3 or 4 people, and then the rest I was like, oh crap, this is so difficult. The semi-final is absolutely wide open. I've always said that. I still stand by it. I think all 16 people could qualify from the semi-final. I think there's one song who I'll point out later who I think is pretty much out, but the other 15 I think absolutely definitely have a shot to qualify. Anyone who comes with big staging or a great idea or just an amazing performance, a little bit of luck, they're in. So this is a great opportunity for some countries with some really bad records to qualify. I am not set in stone at all with what I put down. If you've got some great arguments for why I should move people in and out, definitely let me know. I need all the help I can get. Once we have more information about the running order and rehearsals and all that, I'll do a video again in the future updating these, and I think a lot of these predictions will change. I think in my first video maybe 1 or 2 countries might change. In this one I could see 4, 5, 6 of my predictions changing. At the end of the video, I will show the results of your poll. We don't agree this time. Last time we were in perfect harmony. The harmony is over. It's fighting time. Actually, 4 of the countries that in the semi-final we disagree about their fate. I already explained the criteria I'm using in video 1. I'm just summarizing quickly here. The songs, voting patterns, qualification history, whether in the first half or the second half. Okay, so once again, I will be using my 6-tier system. I'm sorry that I can't hang the board up, but I'm unemployed right now. So I can't be spending money on gigantic. No, I'm not unemployed. I'm taking a career break. Yeah, I can't be spending money on unnecessary whiteboards. Lots of magnets. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Austria. Taya and Selena singing Who the Hell is Edgar? So a lot of controversy with them this year. Their song was leaked by someone who won't be named quite early in the season, which caused a lot of people to think that this is going to be like a bit of a disaster bop. In the end, they sent a really cool song. It's actually got a great melody, really fun delivery, great message. I think televote's going to absolutely love this. Austria on a 3 non-qualification streak. The girls have got great voices. They're both really able to sing, so none of the worries that Austria had last year. People are way more in Austria than they normally are. The song is just going to get so much attention when it goes. It has a potential to have virality. If this doesn't qualify, I am absolutely leaving this planet. I will be so sad. A little bit concerned with how they are live. I saw a short performance they did at OJE Austria, and they did look a little bit nervous. So I hope that they can get more confidence. Their song is amazing. They're awesome. I really love them. So I'm sure that they'll build up their confidence by going to the pre-parties and whatnot. And this is a definite yes for me. Let's talk about another second half song, and that is Georgia. So Georgia are on this 5 non-qualification streak. It is the joint worst participating this year, with Latvia. Montenegro also have a 5 non-qualification streak, but they withdrew this year. Georgia haven't been in the Eurovision final since 2016 with Midnight Gold. They've been very successful in Junior Eurovision though, and they've brought one of their Junior Eurovision alumni to Adult Eurovision. So that's Iru. She won Junior Eurovision in 2011 with Candy Love. She won Georgian Idol in order to represent Georgia, and she's back now. She co-wrote the song with Giga, who is the guy who writes the majority of their Junior Eurovision songs. So they finally listened to all the Eurofans who were begging them to take the Junior Eurovision team and bring them to Adult Eurovision. This is definitely it. I tweeted about how the last 30 seconds are massively impactful, really amazing, stirring. Her vocals are really exceptional. We know that she can sing live. She's got a little bit of a backstory in that she's already won Junior Eurovision, so I think she'll get a little bit of extra media coverage because of that, which is always helpful. I think their delegation is going to be super aware of the fact that they have this 5 non-qualification streak. They're desperately going to want to turn this around. They're in the weaker semi. They've got a second half draw. They've got an amazing performer with a really great great song. This has to be a definite yes for me. I'm very sure this is going through. The music video visuals were excellent as well, and I think that they've got some ideas for the stage. This should go through. Let's go to a first half country, and that is Greece. So Greece had a couple of problems this year. There was a little bit of controversy with their national final. They managed to get things sorted out in time, which is great. I really do not want them to have to withdraw because of the court case. They're currently on a 3 qualification streak. Definitely not the powerhouses that they were in the noughties when they were really dominating. They're still qualifying and doing okay, getting into the top 10 just about, but no real big results to them. I don't think that this is going to break that streak, to be honest. Victor Vernicos singing What They Say really didn't make an impact on its release. He's a really young guy. Very impressive that he's able to write the song himself and perform so well. I hope that he doesn't get too anxious on the stage. I have to admit, I think 16 is too young to go to Eurovision. I think that's a lot of pressure to be putting on a young person with the expectations of your country on your shoulders. So I hope that he's a lot of support from his delegation and they don't put him on the stage on his own unless he's really comfortable with it. The song for me is fine. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it has particular impact. It's in the first half. I think Greece will get points from Cyprus, as they always do. I don't really see where the rest of the points are coming from. I think people will enjoy this. I think it might get some of the smaller points, but I don't think that'll be enough to cross the line. The stats I've done estimate that you need around 47 points to qualify. 12 from Cyprus, he needs another 35. I hope if he does qualify, he had plenty of points and didn't need Cyprus's points. But for me, this is a likely no. I'm gonna get a couple of thumbs down for that, definitely. Next we have a flag. I'm gonna make sure I put it the right way so I don't get trouble. Red at the top. So let's talk about another first half country, and that is Armenia. Red at the top, out at the bottom. Brunette singing Future Lover. So Armenia are on this hot streak right now. Snap was the most successful song from last year. It is the second most streamed Eurovision song ever behind Arcade. They won Junior Eurovision in 2021 and came second in 2022 while hosting. For me, Armenia are the country who have not won Eurovision, who I think are probably going to be the next to win it. They seem to be on the best trajectory right now. I would have said Iceland a couple of years ago, between 2019 and 21, when they had Dathi and Hattari. I was thinking, wow, okay, Iceland are really going to come for the win quite soon. But since then, I think that they've dipped. I think Armenia has taken over as the front runners to be the next new winner. Her song, Future Lover, has been really well received. The visuals looked really great in the music video. I really liked the staging they had last year. I think that they're on a bit of a staging run as well. I think the song is very interesting. I think it's going to stand out. There's no Azerbaijan in this, so they don't need to worry about not getting points from one of the countries. I think if they can bring the visuals from the music video onto the stage, she seemed to come across as very confident. She's a very pretty girl. That's going to elevate this as well. This is, for me, is one of the kind of standout songs in the semi-final, along with Austria and Georgia. And for that reason, I'm putting this in as a likely yes. The reason I'm putting it as likely and not definite is still a couple of questions about what the stage is going to look like. What's that middle third going to be? Because some people don't particularly like that kind of fast spoken word rap part. I also want to see what she's like live. We have a little bit more information about Iru. So once I see that, I can bump this up. But for now, I'm putting this in as a likely yes. Let's go back to the second half with Slovenia. Joker out singing Carpe Diem. This song has been a little bit off the radar in recent weeks. I think that's largely just due to the fact it was released so long ago. Slovenia are currently on a 2 non-qualification streak. They did come last year. I like that they mixed up this year and did an internal selection. They've got a really well-established band in Slovenia. I think that's quite a good strategy. Try something a little bit different. They haven't really had the breakthrough that we kind of want them to have. They've never won. They've never been top 5. We want to see them just progressing a little bit. So I like that change up in their format. The song was released quite a while ago, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's not so hot right now, or people aren't talking about it as much. It's still top 10 on the Eurovision just scoreboard. I need to go back to how I felt when I saw the first music video. I remember thinking they looked really professional. They sounded great. The music video had like a very clean, crisp, great production to it, and I remember being really impressed. So those are the things I need to focus on, because first-time viewers, that's how I imagine they could feel. Slight little bit of bad luck that all 3 of the bands in semi-final 2 are in the second half. That's a little bit unlucky. I think if they were on their own in a half, it would make them stand out even more. Despite all that though, I'm pretty confident about this one. I'm going to put it through as a likely yes. And that's great for Slovenia to be a likely yes because they haven't been top 4 in a semi-final since 2011. Let's continue with the second half and visiting San Marino. Now, I haven't put my review up for this song yet. I have filmed it a couple of weeks ago. I just haven't edited it. You can probably imagine from that what that says about my reaction to it. I just don't think this is a great song. Now, in fairness, I've only heard the live version. I haven't heard the studio version. Having said that, they are going to be live in Liverpool, but they'll probably have much better acoustics there. Look, the song for me just sounds really amateurish. It sounds like it's written by a teenager band or something like that. Disco we had last year from Slovenia sounded like an excellent teenage band. This sounds like a kind of more mediocre one. I think the song's very repetitive. I don't get why this won. And I didn't have like a big favorite in Una Voce por San Marino, so I'm not bitter about anything. I really didn't care who won, to be honest. But yeah, when they won, it just seemed really, really random. I think the San Marino national final needs to have a little bit of a revamp. It just seems like a backroom deal where some random dudes who we can't see just pick something. There's no Italy voting in the semi-finals. Apparently they're going to do a revamp. I think this revamp needs to be absolutely and utterly gigantic, like huge, for them to have any type of a shot. As I said with Slovenia, they are in the half with 3 bands, so even being a band isn't going to make them stand out. This is going to get forgotten so much. I just don't think it has anything wow in it whatsoever. San Marino already struggle with televote unless they're sending someone Turkish, so yeah, this is a definite no for me. Okay, now let's talk about sunny Cyprus, one of my favorite flags. So they are in the first half, which is obviously a slight disadvantage. This is Andrew Lambrou singing Break a Broken Heart. I was really pleasantly surprised when this song dropped. The title of the song leaked a day before and I thought, oh god, that title sounds a little bit dodgy. But this is a really fantastic pop song, really, really solid. It's not breaking any barriers or anything like that. There's nothing new in it, but it's doing old school Eurovision pop really, 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 really well. He's a great performer. He's able to sing very well. He's very handsome. That does not hurt at all. Cyprus had that 6 qualification streak which ended last year with Ella. That is an amazing qualification streak for such a small country. They found their magic recipe that they were quite 6 years in a row. Super impressive. They kind of messed up the staging last year, but I think that was a once-off. We've no reason to doubt that they've suddenly just completely utterly forgotten how to manage their entry. This is going to get 12 from Greece. It should also get 12 from Australia. Andrew is from Australia originally, and they are voting in the semi-final. That's 24 points. Again, the statistics I did estimate you need roughly around 47 or so points. If he already has 24, plus he's so handsome, plus the song is great, the first half element of it does add in a little bit of doubt, but I'm going to go out of my way here. I'm going to say this is a definite yes. I just don't see a situation where this doesn't qualify. I think it's a really, really great song. And if he takes his top off, it's like, it's a done deal. He doesn't have to take his top off. What's the point in going to the gym and getting super buff if you're not going to reap the benefits? Okay, now let's talk about Belgium. So I think this is a potential opener for the show. It's a great like party starting song. Really fun, not too serious. It's such a perfect way to open a show. At this point in time though, based on jury and televote, the qualification from the first slot isn't that bad. It's around 50% and the overall average is around 57%. So not much less than average. I think the song's very nostalgic. I think he's very endearing. He's a very lovely guy. I think he genuinely wants to be there. This is like a dream come true for him. I hope that can come across in the performance. I wouldn't mind a little bit of like expensifying, like making it look more expensive and more glamorous. I didn't really like the pink piñata he was wearing in the first costume. I know it was made by a really famous Belgian designer, but I'm sorry. I still think that's what it looked like. I just like something that looked a little bit more like super chic and elegant. Give him a total glamazon upgrade. Yeah, I'm super rooting for this, but I'm trying to look at this in an objective way and not who I want to go through. That's a separate video. The song does sound a little bit dated. Belgium have qualified the last 2 years in a row, but that was an 8th and 9th, so they're kind of scraping through lately. I think this song is weaker than those two. I think it's in a weaker semi-final, but still, at this point in time, I'm putting it in as a borderline no. Really hope I'm wrong. Think if he gets a really good running order and isn't opening, I might change my mind on this one. I don't really see who's another potential opener. He just seems like the most obvious one. In terms of like let's get a party started, let's have a good time, upbeat song, it's gonna be that, or maybe Romania. I think Romania is a weird one to open. Unless Romania has like a really fun, over-the-top dramatic show, they might put him in. but otherwise I think Belgium is just the most sensible. Let's go back to a second half country, and that is Australia. So Australia have qualified 5 of the last 6 years. Now I previously had it in my head that they were very weak in the televote, but I actually went back through the semi-finals and looked just at the televote, and every year that they qualified, they also qualified with the televote. So they don't need the jury in the way that I had in my head. 2016, they were 2nd. 2017, they were 15th, and they were saved by the jury. That was Isaiah, Firebrace. 2018, they were 7th. 2019, they were 2nd with Kelmendi. And then 2022, they were 8th. They only needed the jury one of those 5 times. So I'm glad I checked that, because before that I was kind of thinking, this might be a little bit iffy. Yeah, this is gonna really stand out. This is a real fun rocky song. It's a different type of rock song than Slovenia and San Marino. I think their professionalism in how well they can perform will really set them apart from San Marino. They're in the second half, and anyone who wants a little bit more progressive rock song, this is going to be absolute magnet for them. Finland isn't in this semi-final. I think there's a small overlap in fans between the two. I know they're different genres of music, but there is a slight overlap. So they've kind of got the heavier rock genre all to themselves. I think Australia really care about the competition. They put a lot of effort into their staging, and I think that shows in their results. I don't think they get a lot of points for free. I think they really work for them and they put in the effort. I'm a big fan of Australia being in the competition. No UK, no Ireland. I don't think they need it. I'm still putting this in as a likely yes, based off of their really, really great record. I need to have some borderlines at this point. I've got too many sure stuff. So at this point in time, I will tell you I'm not putting more than 4 countries through in the first half, based on the history that less songs qualify in the first half. I just don't think that the first half is stronger to justify having more qualifiers. So I have 2 songs left from the first half. That is Denmark, your man, what's his name, the guy from the Faroe Islands, Reiley, singing Breaking My Heart. Shows you how much I've listened to that song. And Diljá singing Power. Let's talk about both, and then I'll tell you which one I've decided to put through. So let's talk about Denmark first. Now this one I'm a little bit confused about. He is notorious for having a huge amount of followers on Instagram, 10 million plus or something like that. Apparently a lot of them are in South Korea, because I was confused how he could have so many followers, but then he came 2nd in the televote in the Danish national final. That seemed a little bit strange to me. So that gives me a little bit of concern. How is he gonna do in the televote? I wonder, are these South Koreans going to help him with the rest of the world vote? Is he going to be able to mobilize them on social media? I think he filmed the music video himself with his mother. I think it was homemade. He was the only contestant in the national final who had a music video, which I thought is just mind-blowing. I think this will appeal to young voters. Definitely very sweet, very cute. He's got jeans on with hearts on them, and there's lots of hearts and making hearts and doing lots of hearts and lots of hearts breaking. I know kids love that stuff. So that 3 to 9-year-old vote that Loreen absolutely hates, they love Reiley. I think the song is pretty decent. I don't think it's amazing. Okay, the other person is Diljá singing Power. Now, if you saw my reaction to Song Vaknepning and the reaction to her that I did afterwards, I just don't get this at all. When I have these situations where I'm not feeling a song at all, it's just whoa over my head, this is when I start looking at what you guys are saying and what people are saying on Twitter, just seeing what's the general feedback, because obviously there are songs every year that I just don't get that do well. I'm not seeing that amount when I look out and see who's talking about this, what are they saying, how much do they love this, where are they ranking it. I'm having to make a decision off of what I see, because for me personally, this is not even close to qualifying. It sounds like a 90s drum and bass song that was 25th in the chart. Despite that, was doing pretty well in the Eurovision scoreboard. I remember being as high as 13th. It's down to 24th now. It's the 8th ranked song on my Eurovision score for semi-final number 2. Iceland have a 3 qualification streak, so they clearly know how to stage. I thought the staging in Song Vaknepning was very underwhelming, but now that they've got more of a budget, they might be able to pump something in, do a total revamp for this, totally bring it to life. A little bit of a shame that they changed it to English. I think Iceland is the most gorgeous language. Some or all of it in Icelandic would have added in a definite mystery, intrigue, a little bit of specialness to it. I think this is a tough one, but I think I've got a little bit more evidence that Denmark would be successful, and that's why I'm putting them through as my first borderline yes, and my last qualifier from the first half of semi-final number 2, which means I'm putting Iceland in as a borderline no. This is one I'm going to be keeping a really close eye on. I'm going to be watching Twitter like an absolute hawk to make my final decision on can this make it through. So if you've got some reason why you think this can qualify, please do let me know. Let's talk about Lithuania. One of my favorite flags, very beautiful. So I wasn't really feeling the song when I reviewed it in my Pabandom Ishnaho video. She did a little bit of a revamp where she changed some of the chorus, My Heart is Beating, into Lithuanian. It made such a big difference. It really makes the song elevate. She added in this shuto tuto thing, which is really sweet. It sounds very mysterious and cool. So I think this is going to really appeal to the Lithuanian diaspora, which we know are really strong. They almost were able to qualify Run With The Lines, which was an absolutely dire song. And this has got even more of a Lithuanian identity. She's got the gold dress on, which symbolizes, I think it's like got special symbolism within Lithuanian. Plus with the Shuto Tuto, plus it's Monica Linkite, who has already represented them before and qualified. So I think that she's going to have a little bit of name recognition within Lithuanians as well. I don't think that Lithuania needs a diaspora, but I definitely think that's just like an extra help. During the second half, that's also helpful as well. She's got a great hook in the long stay note, which I think is really going to wow people. This feels like a bit more of a classic ballad. It's a very solid song. I actually woke up this morning with this in my head. But Lithuania have qualified the last 2 years in a row. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. I'm going to put it through as a... I think I'm going to put it through as a borderline yes. And that's more just because I'm running out of space on my likely yes column. Yeah, okay, I'll put it likely yes. See, now it's starting to cross into the L, which I drew. Let's talk about Estonia. Estonia is blue at top. Another really, really beautiful flag. This one is interesting for me because I have really heard nobody talking about this since Isilao. I haven't seen anyone praising it. I haven't heard anyone saying that they hate it. It just seems to like not exist. Could it just be because Isilao ended quite a while ago? Yeah, possibly. She's in the first half, so she definitely needs to be memorable. Some of the staging elements they had I thought were good. The self-playing piano, she gets a little bit angry towards the end. Estonia have qualified 3 of the last 4 years, and when they did qualify, they were in the top 5 those 3 times, so that's very impressive. I think that this staging has got a good starting point and they're going to build on it. She's a great singer. I think this will appeal to definitely an older audience. It's got that classical feel. This is doing really, really well on the Eurovision scoreboard. It's still 16th, despite it being quite an old song. She's currently 5th of all the semi-final 2 songs on my Eurovision scoreboard right now. Honestly, that's what it came down to for me. I'm deciding to put this through as a borderline yes, and that is simply based off of how well it's doing on the app. Still kind of thinking this could be a shock non-qualifier. It wouldn't totally surprise me. I can't see any stands anywhere. Where are the Estonian Alika bridge stands who've got this in their top 3? Let's talk about Romania. So this song is in the first half. Now this song is getting tons of hate. It's very low down the Eurovision scoreboard. I think it's second last. I think he's a great performer. When I did my Selection Nacional review, I think I put this as my number 2 based off of him. He's such a charismatic, great performer. Great energy. He's very young. I think he's 18. I believe he's done some stage acting as well, which really comes across. He's able to move around. He's able to do his transitions really well. Performance in Selection Nacional, where he had the reveals, he took off. He had 2 costume reveals with something written on his chest. He had girls falling off stages. It looked like a very entertaining show. Definitely very messy and needs to be edited down. And he has said that he's going to do a small revamp, plus they're going to edit the show and do something really, really big and amazing. That's very important because this is going to be in the first half. I think he's a very charming guy. I think a lot of people are going to look through the camera and see someone very, very likable, putting in a lot of effort, trying very hard. There's no Moldova voting for Romania in this, which is definitely going to hurt a little bit. Those 12 points would have been really freaking nice. I think when rehearsals come out, we'll have a much clearer picture, and I think that people's estimates of this will go up a little bit. I think people are kind of overestimating how little of a chance it has. I'm trying to balance it out. I really, really want to put this through as one of my shock qualifiers, but I'm trying to be a little bit realistic because the community temperature is so cold. It was very cold for Belgium and Switzerland last year, and they both qualified. So community temperature isn't always a perfect measure, but at this point in time, I'm putting this in as a borderline no, but I am literally looking for any freaking possible excuse to put this up. I really want to put this in as a surprise qualifier. So I'm just hoping that he throws me a bone. But at this point in time, with the information I have, I'm saying it's a borderline no. So that leaves me with 2 countries left. They're both in the second half. That is Poland and Albania with their beautiful eagle. Let's talk about both and then I'll tell you which one I'm putting through. Controversy central. Let's talk about Albania. Okay, so let me just clarify a couple of things. I have no problem with the theme of family at all in the song. I think it's very clever. It's very universal. This is a good song. This is ethnic. It's fun. It's got dramatic moments. That beautiful opening at the start where she does kind of the beckoning call. She's an amazing performer. She's really dramatic. She's kind of over the top extra, which is very, very entertaining. My problem with this song is the story that they have going on the stage makes no sense to a foreigner. If you speak Albanian, it's fine. You can understand the words and you can understand what she's singing about. Albania specifically needs points from people who don't speak Albanian. That's the point in Eurovision. You're trying to get points from other countries. The stage show for me is so confusing. I thought it was about that she'd been exiled from her family because she'd like slept with someone or something like that. I showed this video to another friend. He thought it was about her parents dying. I saw loads of other people commenting on my videos saying they had no idea what was going on. It's really confusing. I know that they're what's called a family band, which is where the whole of them are in like a group together. That concept in Ireland, at least, I've never heard of that. I've never seen it. So I don't look at them on stage and go, oh, that's a family band. I go, that's weird. Why are her family on the stage? So I think there's that slight cultural difference where I don't know how prevalent family bands are around Europe, but all I can say is me being from Ireland and having lived in the UK, so I know what the UK would think as well. They would look at it and go, what is that? That looks like a soap opera or a telenovela. And then they're acting out things. It's very awkward and uncomfortable and you're like, what's happening? And then you're looking so much trying to decipher what's going on. There's a story here, but I don't understand it. Am I missing something? What are the clues going on? The music just totally goes over your head because you're spending so much of your attention and your focus trying to work out what on earth is happening. This is like a scene from a play being acted out, but who's that and who's that? And why is she crying? And why is that person? And then why is everyone so awkward? There's just all these questions that just completely distract from the performance. Albania does have Sasha Jean-Baptiste coming in. So Sasha Jean-Baptiste is a Swedish staging producer. She often does staging for Switzerland, Albania, and Georgia. Those are the three countries that she's built up relationships with. She does their staging pretty much every single year. She loves reds and blacks and darkness, kind of simple, beautiful staging. She likes smoke as well. She loves a bit of smoke. So she's got such a big job here because she needs to take this and just somehow be able to translate this story to non-Albanians. So I believe the story is that she's wistful, she's longing for when the family was younger and they always used to be together all the time, and now they're all kind of separated because they've flown the nest. That's fine, that's a great theme, it's super universal. Loads of people kind of say that. I can totally associate that as well, but that is not what I saw when I saw the performance in Festival Congas or the music video. I was just like, I have no idea what is going on. Somehow Sasha Jean-Baptiste needs to convey that meaning on the stage, or just say, look, we cannot convey the exact meaning. Let's just make it about family and do something really, really simple. She needs to have the family doing very basic acting. Nothing with facial close-up. They just look so awkward and uncomfortable. In fairness to them, they aren't actors. They don't have the same charisma and star quality that Albina does. Let's be real about that for a moment. It just needs to make sense. That's all. Make sense, not be confusing, not be distracting. Let the music do the work. If you put a gramophone on the stage and just played the song, it would probably qualify. Right now, the visuals are bringing it down. She has to fix this. It is possible. First, let's talk about Poland. Okay, so Poland, Blanka singing solo. This is the one I agonized over the most. I don't want this to qualify. Nothing against Blanka. I don't want it to qualify because of TVP. They rigged their national final. First of all, non-Polish people are not going to know that happened. Like 99.99% of them will have absolutely no idea about the backstory whatsoever, and they will not care. My biggest question is, will the Polish diaspora, who are very, very good at voting for their songs and very, very supportive, how do they feel about this? How much has the information about the show rigging permeated through the entire Polish population? I don't know. I would love some Polish people to tell me in the comments. How well is this going to do with the diaspora? I don't know. I still just think that they might not have heard this story and they're just going to vote for this anyway. And it's in the second half. And the song itself is not dire. It's catchy. She's pretty. The staging is kind of like Instagram, TikTok, like not trying very hard. Like I'm just going to shrug one shoulder. That's my whole dance routine. I'm not getting out of bed for less than $10,000 vibe. At the end of the day, look, these two, very, very messy situations for very, very different reasons. In the end, I think Albania is just too confusing at this point. It definitely can be made clearer, but I need to see that clear staging before I can start to think that it can qualify. Against my better judgment, I'm putting Poland through. Another element of this is that I always feel every year when I'm doing predictions, I should put through something that makes me not happy, because otherwise if I'm just doing all the ones I want, it starts to feel like my top 10 wish list instead of my top 10 prediction list. I still think all the people who don't know any of the backstory are going to be able to put this through. I'm putting this through as my borderline yes. I think it'll be 10th maybe if it qualifies. I'm putting this in as a borderline no. Let's go have a look and see how you think. So we disagreed on 4 people. So let's go through the ones that we did agree on. We both agreed that Armenia is going through, 96%. Estonia, Cyprus, 84%. We agree. Australia at 91%. Selena, 99%. Georgia, 92%. Monica Linkite, 77%. So that's 7 we agree on. And Slovenia, 98%. So those are the 8 qualifiers that we agree on. So those were your top 8 in terms of percentage wise, and those are the ones I agree with you. In 9th place though, you guys had Iceland, Diljá. Now keep in mind, I looked at these results after I did my thing. So maybe that is the slight convincing that I needed. And I am open to considering Diljá going through, but I don't see it yet. I need more evidence, please. And then in 10th place, you guys think that Gustaph is going through because of you. Now, I totally agree. I think this is super borderline as well. I'd love that. I have nothing against Gustaph going through. I think he's a lovely guy. Would love to see him in the final. I think he would add something different to it. Your 9th and 10th qualifiers I had out. And in your 11th place, the person I put into a place was Denmark. You had him at 53%. In 12th place, you had Victor Vernicos, which I thought was very interesting, actually. Yeah, I was surprised that so many people put that through, so maybe that does a little bit more popularity than I think. In 13th, we had Albania, 32%. 14th, we had Poland with 14%. I wonder now, are some people voting that down? Because now I definitely wanted to, I'll say from my perspective, I wanted to say this is not qualifying, to like be like, screw you to TVP. So I wonder, are other people also thinking like that as well? 15th is Romania with 9.4%. That kind of matches in with the Eurovision scoreboard, them being second last. And in last place, also last place on the scoreboard, is Peaked Jacks. 3.7% think that San Marino can somehow make it through. Pretty good synchronicity. Our top 8 we all agreed on. Again, I'm not committing to any of these at this point. They are not set in stone. They are set in butter. Very meltable. I will totally change my mind once rehearsals come up. I'll obviously do an updated video when that happens. In the meantime, I'm going to keep my eyes open, looking for lots of juicy statistics and information, anything that can help me make my decision. I think the semifinals super wide open. Anyone who comes with a big idea can have a shot. So pre-rehearsal, that's who I think could qualify from semifinal number 2 of Eurovision 2023. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I'm seeing another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah. The music video, oh, the fuck me. Oh no, Moldova's not in this semi-final. You dum-dum. Analysis video very soon. Good. My God, that was awful. And thank you very much.